Back in the 80s, do you remember those summer afternoons when you and your friends would race outside on your bikes looking for adventure? Every creek that you encountered became shark infested waters. Every swimming pool suddenly felt a little more dangerous. And if you happened to hear a certain movie theme in your head, well, you knew it was time to get out of the water. But when the sun went down, there was still one way to face that great white from the safety of your bedroom.
Vintage gaming memories.
And here's the way you can do that. This is the 1983 Tomytronic's 3D game, Jaws. Now, what's fascinating is that this game wasn't originally known as Jaws everywhere. In 1983 in North America, it was released as Shark Attack, while in Japan, it was marketed as Jaws 3D, clearly tying into the popularity of the Jaws 3D movie that arrived in theaters that same year. If you watch one of my Tomytronic's 3D videos in the past, I mentioned that my goal was to collect a set of these various 3D binocular type games from Tomy. Here's a quick rundown on the full set that I mentioned in my video, Sky Attack. There's Planet Xeon, Shark Attack, Sherman Attack, Jungle Fighter, Sky Fighters, Thundering Turbo, and then this one, Sky Attack. Now I know I mentioned 7 titles in that clip, which would account for the set, but if I begin to include those alternate names, it probably would total about 15. And the one in this video, it would be considered an alternate named one. But looking at this list, I think I'll continue to pursue the ones on the left side going forward. And if one of these Japanese versions becomes available, I'll definitely take it too. Let's start with a quick once-over on the physical appearance of this game. The seller did note that this was in working condition, so that is good to know. The stickers are not too bad. I mean, I'll definitely have to be very careful when I clean this so I don't discolor them or peel them off. And as far as the plastic goes, there's really no gouges or any cracks in this that I can see. Let's take a look at the ocular lens, which is the first lens that you put your eye towards. And let's see if there's any scratches that we can tell just by looking at it from this angle. And it's going to be hard to see until I put some more light on it and clean it, but I don't see anything but dust, so that's a good sign. Now, one thing I did notice was that the neck strap that goes through these strap lugs, they're not included. But that's not a big deal. I can definitely find like a non-working parts version of any of these Tomytronic 3D games and then see if it has the straps that are included and get it for pretty cheap. Then I could use it with this one. So if I want to keep it all original, that would be the way to go. You know what, let's check out the battery compartment. And like I said, this was marketed in Japan, so it's really no surprise that the writing is in Japanese. Good thing that I'm practically fluent in Japanese. After all those years of, well, okay, never mind. Let's translate this with AI. As you can see, it's not the typical writing that you would notice on the back of an electronic game from that era. Often it would be some basic gameplay objectives noted. Instead, it's just the safety instructions for the device. So let's open this up and make sure that there are not any batteries in here, which I'm sure there's not. And there isn't. Condition looks great. On that note, let me pause for a second while I go ahead and clean and polish this thing up. And I'm also going to do some research on how to play this. So I'll be back in 1 second. Well, I figured I might as well open this up and clean it because the buttons were kind of dirty and grimy, and it's not going to be easy to clean it just from the outside unless you take it apart and get on the inside and do a full cleanup. So I figured why not show you what it looks like on the inside before I just close it all up. Now I haven't even started the cleanup yet. I just took everything apart. And in case you've never seen a Tomytronic 3D game on the inside, here is the board for this one. You can see all the resistors and the battery compartment. This is just the cover that goes over the ocular lens. Clean this and put it in water and soak it up. These are the strap lugs. They come off nice and easy. Battery compartment cover comes off. And then here is the magic. Here is the lens. And you can see going through there at the other side of it is one of the magnifying lens. And then that's the first lens that you put your eye towards. They look like they're pretty good. They're not really bad looking. They're dirty, of course, but I'll have them looking nice and crystal clear. There are no scratches on this, so it's going to look really good when I clean this up. Oh, and on the other side of this is where the buttons are, which is why I went ahead and did this so I could take it all apart. You can see why I wanted to take it apart. This is pretty dirty. It is connected still to the speaker right on top. So I have to be kind of careful when I do this part. And if you didn't notice, I went ahead and got to the screw on the bottom of the cover by just heating it up a little bit on the sticker, peeling it back a tiny bit so I can get my screwdriver in there and then loosen the screw so that way I wouldn't ruin the sticker. All right, back to work on this. It's all cleaned, polished, and put back together. Here are a couple before and after photos. Let me just give you a quick view of everything on this now that it's all cleaned. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to have to give it a solid 7 out of 10. And that's only because I do see a few very faint scratches on the front here. It's only when it's angled in the right position under the light. But really, without that lighting, you can't really tell at all. Anyways, let's talk about the game's objective. Deadly sharks are constantly swimming towards your spear-firing diver, and your job is to take them out before they reach you. You can move your diver between 3 positions across the top of the screen, left, center, and right, to line up your shots. And you get 3 divers, so you have to try to rack up as many points as you can before they're all gone. Every shark you destroy is worth 5 points. The game has 7 skill levels, or I like to call it rounds. Once you reach 100 points, you move on to the next round. But before that happens, you get a bonus round where 4 sharks race across the screen at high speed. Each one you destroy is worth a whopping 50 points. As you advance through the rounds, the sharks move faster, making the game increasingly challenging, which makes it more fun. It's pretty straightforward. And so are the controls. So let me show you what we have on this. We'll start on the left side as if you were looking through the lens. Let's see, that's a good view. So you can see on the top left here, we have the power on and off button. And then below that is the slide switch to toggle the sound on and off, which is always a great feature back in the day and even today. And then we have this button that says left. On the opposite side, we have one that says right. And that's how you control your diver in those 3 positions that I mentioned. And then finally, there is this last button, which is orange in color and labeled shoot, start. Shoot for when you want to throw your spear at the shark, and start to begin a new game. One thing that's really important on this game is the Skylight panel up here on the top. How it works is that it uses the ambient light in the room to illuminate the LCD panel that's inside. It's a pretty neat design, and if you ever play the tabletop Donkey Kong Jr. game, it works the exact same way with the Skylight panel on the top, except that that one has two LCD panels inside. I put a link on the top here to get to that video if you want to check it out. It's a pretty good demonstration of the various Coleco tabletop games back in the 80s. Okay, I think it's now time to put in 3 AA batteries, and then I'm going to position this camera so that you can see through the lens nice and clear. All right, well, check this out. So this is the image you get when you just turn it on without starting the game. And majority of this image is coming in because of the Skylight panel, which has the light coming right through the top, and it's illuminating everything. And what you can see here, which is pretty cool, is all the various images that are in the game. You see all the sharks, the different paths the shark would take. You see the diver, you see the bubbles next to the diver, and you see the spear, the path the spear would take towards the shark. And in the bottom right corner is the score. This is pretty neat to see everything. Well, let's get this thing going. I have this turned on to sound on and get my fingers positioned. And let's press start. All right, there's my diver on top. Those are the 3 positions I'm moving. Unlimited spears, so I'm just going to keep firing away and just making sure I don't get hit by a shark. I'm at 20 points. I can almost stay in one position here. That wouldn't be too much fun, right? I should move around. Maybe I shouldn't move around. All right, I lost 1 diver. 2 left. That's close. Oh, all right. 1 last diver. I have 80 points. I need to get to 100 to get past this level and get to the bonus. One more hit. There we go. Bonus round. Okay, let's see if I can get one of these sharks. Not coming towards me. Whoa. Oh, didn't get any of those. At least I didn't die. Next round, round 2. So this is going to be a little bit faster. I guess I can tell. It seems like they're moving a little bit faster. I'm just firing away. Oh, I missed that. All right, that was pretty cool. So that was 135 points. Do the math, 5 points each. So what would that be? 27? Yeah, 27 hits because I didn't get any bonus sharks. This is definitely a fun and challenging game, and I know I say that quite often on this channel about games that I play. And I say that because if you could only see how the camera is positioned, I'm just relying on what I can see through the camera display. Plus, being that this isn't up against my eye like a binocular and how the game really should be played. So yeah, those are excuses. But it is fun. I can see myself as a kid playing this game, trying to get to the higher levels, and probably playing this for quite some time. As an adult, I don't know, maybe a few more tries, and I would probably call it a day. So on that note, let's try it one more time. Let me just see if I can get to the bonus again and maybe be able to hit a shark or two and see how the score looks from there. So I'm going to hit start again. Let me make sure I can see everything in the camera. Here we go. 2 more hits is all I need. One more. Get to the bonus here. Alright, we're in the bonus. I need to get 1. There we go. 50 points. Alright, round 2. My last guy. Alright, 210. Got a chance to get a bonus shark, which was pretty cool. That will do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and any past memories you have of this game or any of the Tomytronic 3D games. I really do appreciate you taking time to watch it all the way to the end. Well, this is the 1983 Tomytronic 3D Jaws, which is the Japanese version. Until next time, keep that gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.